Yeah, not having a good day. Something's wrong. So, got it in neutral. So I try to start it. Then when I rev it, and it doesn't hold the idle. Alright folks, back at it again. Make sure you check out Ray for Less Towing, getting me situated. And now off to Absolute Cycle.
The revolution will be live.
Alright, I'm hoping this thing works. Alrighty, so let's get this thing up and running. So this is gonna be a very interesting video. Wow, this thing is loud. Yes, so gonna wait till this thing kind of simmer down a bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube family, meet Ares, the son of Zeus. And you're going to be wondering why I ended up going this route. And I'll tell you in this episode. But, yeah, Zeus, my black dragon, has succumbed to the casualties of cost, catastrophic damage, and I believe, got to the bottom of what happened. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna splice the original video into it. I don't know, I'm gonna figure this out. I wanna give a big shout out to Reverend to Riches, Absolute Cycle, Casper, Arthur, you guys really rock. You know, have my back there in this situation. And, yeah, a lot of changes. So, let's get into it. What happened? The motor. I was going to work on, it was 6 weeks ago. So, long story short, I'm going to work, and I lost power, and I heard a big thunk or a thud, like boom, and I almost went down. So, thank goodness, I was able to keep the bike up, but you all know I had back surgery, and it caused me a little bit of grief. And I was in the hospital or the VA. I was already going through it, and I legit was not a happy camper. Not a happy camper at all. So I'm going to work. I'm in the Menlo area, because I work in South Jersey, where you got farm area. So once I heard that thud, and he started making a funny sound, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I'm just like, no, what happened? I'm like, please, and I almost got hit by 2 trucks trying to veer off to the right and get to the shoulder, and that's where I strained my back and had to get seen, taken care of and all that. So now I'm inspecting the bike, and got another rider out there inspecting the bike, and now I gotta do regular shift. But yeah, I was inspecting the bike, and Zeus wouldn't turn on or his idol would die. And I'm like, all right, that's not good. And I'm like 20 minutes from work. So I had to, find a way. So I kept it at low RPM, and I ended up, chancing it to work. And then I parked the bike and started making phone calls. So I contacted the builder. I was contacting Steve. I was contacting a lot of folks. And fast forward, shout out to Ray for 4 Let's Towing. He came and got me again, like a year later. But yeah, it was like, man, I know. I'm trying to like select my how I'm telling the story, because first I want to go on record to not assign blame. This is circumstantial. And building a motor that was a 1500cc hybrid build, out of the 3 of us that went through the same builder, mine had to go. Mine had to be the casualty of war. So motor blew, got the bike down to Carpenter Racing. They were inspecting, and I was waiting for pictures. I was waiting for, some more information, and turns out that it dropped an intake valve and caused significant damage to the motor. So for the cost to repair Zeus was the cost of this bike, and I was already in the hole like $9,000. And that's just, the motor. Then everything else with the carbon fiber, the tuning, the dongle. So I'll tell you this. I am for sure taking a lot of Zeus's essence, and I'm going to be transferring it to Aries. But I have a decision to make. I could take my time and maybe restore Zeus, or just part them out and then just take elements and just, do a Zeus Aries hybrid on this bike. So that's the long story short. But trying to get to the why. So why did this happen? So it looked like after, getting information from Carpenter, talking to my shops, other builders, and it seems as if I think the culprit was the AMS oil. Now, it looks like the day I got it back, when you guys saw me do the video, when I was like flying, from Mexico back home, it seemed like when I did the first oil change, and I would put 4.5 quarts in on average. But then, oh man, hopefully I'm not messing it up. But then when I did the first oil change, only 2 quarts came out. And I'm like, all right, is it burning oil? Is there a leak somewhere? I don't know. So I informed these guys like, hey, it looks like I'm burning oil or I'm losing oil. But it in my research and, it seems that the Dominator oil is not for the street. It breaks down a lot faster. So, go to the drag strip, you do your passes, you're done. And I guess the 10W30 I was using was just too light, and Zeus's motor was destroying it. Oh, looks like we got some rain. Oh, that sucks. Alright, well, let's see how the cameras are working and how everything is going from there. But yeah, so now, damn, what the heck? Well, yeah, so now I think that was the culprit, and that's how I lost Zeus in his current form. If I do part him out completely, Aries will, have his identity, but, all the memories are tied into Zeus because Omar, rest his soul, was the first person to test ride Zeus. He was the one, like, we have plans. We're going to do, like, a whole lot of stuff with it. Then he wasn't here for me to show him all the work that I put in. 7 years I had that bike. 7 years, man. And what people got to understand, like, for me, that bike was financial freedom. A little transparency, like, my parents are from the islands, and they put me in, some situations where my credit was used and a lot of stuff was going on, and I didn't see financial freedom until my 30s. And later on, I was able to get this bike, get approved, with the job and everything where I was at before. And, I got the bike, hoping to fix my credit and whatnot. Now I have A+ credit because of Zeus. And the combination of my ex-fiance and all that, like, that bike holds significance to me. So, yeah, I gotta get used to this bike. It's just so different. It doesn't have the same... I was so used to Zeus, man, but I can make this bike all that it can be. Now it's a new chapter, but yeah, going back into it, when I was looking at the cost, I had to have got a motor for $4,500 with low miles, and then labor, and then I would have been in the whole 10 grand. The same amount. Well, that's more than what this bike, I paid for this bike. So, yeah, I had to really just kind of chalk it up as a loss. I could take one bike or have Zeus's core be the donor for Aries. And again, Zeus will live on through this bike. But, yeah, I'm like really feeling that. That hurt. That hurt. I lost my Black Dragon, man. I don't think people understand, like, but again, things happen for a reason, and I believe in something I believe the beyond the skies. I was protected. I probably, like, we're in late June now. I missed like a good a third of the season, and maybe I wasn't supposed to be riding at that time. So yeah, there you go. There you have it. I'm actually kind of scared to ride this bike. Because, I'm headed over to Steve's real quick because I have to make a plan to transfer, the carbon fiber wheels, the carbon, some of it's at the house. It's just so much because when shout out to Scott, he hooked me up with this bike. He's pretty much done with the 14. I got this with under 4,000 miles. They're around... we'll say in the 9K range, And like I said, for all that I would have had to do to rebuild Zeus, I could get another bike. And then potentially, if I rebuild Zeus like stock, I got two ZX14s and then, sell one of them, But this is actually my first ride on Aries. And, the name was fitting because, still part of the Greek mythology and just the next in successor. So this is a 2018 ZX14 special edition, and the bike feels good. It's like Zeus was when I first got him from Motorcycle Mall. And I'll tell you this, I was legit, shopping around. I went to Motorcycle Mall, cross country. I called the place on Long Island. They had bikes for me, different types. I was looking at the ZX10, the RR. I was seeing a whole lot of stuff. And, in this day and age, everything seems a little more expensive. Now, granted, I can afford it. But it's just the principle of it. I'm just like, I do have priorities. And yeah, all right, man. I was definitely in a dark place for 5 weeks, But hey, stuff happens. I'm gonna say like this was the best case scenario because it could have been a lot worse. Shout out to Rose because Rose and Gio, aka Reverend to Riches, were there keeping my head in grounded. You know, like I was mad. I'm telling you, I was mad. I was hot. And I'm just like, why? You know, why? You work so hard for something, you get things to the way that you want it, and then poof. It literally that incident. Whoa, this like got some beef to it. But that goes to show you something was happening with my motor, and I just started seeing evidence of stuff. Like it started fading on me. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's next because if I get back on the saddle and try to build again, I think I'm gonna do a different route. I did the naturally aspirated, but you know, I'm thinking for the life of this of a motor. Man, what should I do? Should I go force induction? You know, TTS just came out with their package, and like you know, for their supercharger, RCC Turbo up there in Canada, they're another viable option. I could get like a stage 1 bolt-on kit, no intercooler, low boost, like 5-6 psi, before hurting the motor, right? There's a lot I could do, but I just want to ride right now, you know, like, again, if you're new to the channel, my thing is I ride to cure my anxiety that I developed after going to Iraq for 13 months in 2010. 2011, yeah, that deployment, and the riding kind of brings me peace, and the fact that I couldn't do it at the initial onset of the season was really, you know, getting me. So hopefully I can make this adjustment. But yeah, that was a very tough time. But that's the short story of it. I'll probably figure out how I'm gonna edit this and put it to tell the narrative. I had this bike for about a week and some change now, going on 2 weeks.
I just got home and I see the motorcycle is right here, but it's raining. It's raining. Oh my God. It is raining. Oh.
That my buddy Karma hooked me up, but here we go. Shout out to Mr. Lowe. He always calls me Mr. Army and all that. Hey, I'll be back on 2 wheels in the next 72 hours. Okay, I got tax, title, registration. You know how that stuff, especially in Jersey. So that's it. This has been the man, the Mr. Zeus President with my brother-in-law on the camera. Not going on 2 weeks. But weather up here has been trash. Raining. Today's Juneteenth. I snuck a ride in. You know, my dog was giving me a headache on my day off, and I'm just like, all right, let me get on out here. You know, do like let people know that I'm back, but not the same. You know, those of us who suffer from catastrophic damages to our machine, like, you know, we come back like a little timid, not timid, like, you know, I'm gonna baby this one for the foreseeable future. This really hurt. This really hurt, man. You know, to put another, like, by the time with everything included, to put another 10 grand into a bike I paid 13 grand for, then the other 9K for the motor, and then the carbon was another 3 grand. I'm like, I can't, you know, this bike, for the deal that I got this for, and I love you, Scott, for this, you know, we both were facing things and we helped each other, and now I'm riding, and I'm just, I don't know, I'm just thankful to even just be having the opportunity. But I gotta find out what's next. I'll probably do a poll. Should I go back and, like, also too, I have to figure out, I'm getting a second opinion on Zeus's motor, and gonna see, oh man, I freaking hate these, traffic drives me nuts. Yeah, I gotta figure out if the motor is salvageable. There's a possibility I'll fix them. Probably go stock, or we'll see, because I didn't fully. All I know that it dropped the valve, and I was just being told buy another motor and build it back up. So again, $4,500 for a motor, another $7,000. Like around $11K. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. So that's kind of where we're at. So I'm gonna stop the video here. I want you to rate, comment, and subscribe. You gotta visit my, Absolute Cycle Steve, see how he doing. Yo. Yeah, so he's here by himself, but yeah, between here and ASAP Moto, you gotta love Steve. He took care of me. So we'll be back. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Ha 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 ha!